So then we will go with the tendering process. So what is this tendering is basically whenever the freight order is created, okay. So whenever the freight order is created and we have selected the different carriers using the carrier selection profile. So the tendering process will call for a quotations. So we will just ask all the carriers who are available with us. We will call for the different carriers asking the request for quotation. So we will ask, okay, I want to send my goods from this place to this place. The source is this, the destination is this, and this is the quantity of material I'm sending. And what is your RFQ or what is your quotation for this? Okay, so based on the confirmation, we will just process with the uh, offering the freight order to them, or assigning the freight order to the carrier. So the process, the whole process till from starting from the freight order creation, okay, till we are assigning the freight order to the carrier. So the whole process is covered as a part of for tendering. Okay, so here the tendering is nothing but just we are choosing the available carriers. To all the carriers we are just sending the material, we are sending the quotations. So if they accept the quotation, then we will assign or we will award this freight order to them. If they didn't accept, so that means we will go with the next available customer in sense carrier. Okay, so this is what the tendering profile basically is. So now we'll just go here. Tendering process is sending an RFQs to the your carriers as a business partner, and carrier can either accept or reject the RFQs, and carrier can change prices when they return the quotation. And tendering process starts with if he sends the RFQ to more than one carrier. So that means we are just tendering to multiple carriers. So how system knows the multiple carriers? It's based on your carrier selection profile, right? So yesterday we have seen different carriers and selection profiles also. And tendering process includes different tendering methods. Like we have two kinds of tenderings. So one is a peer-to-peer tendering and broadcast tendering. So peer-to-peer tendering basically it is used in European Union, and broadcast tendering is mainly used in the US region. As a prerequisite, we need to have a freight order type and a tendering plan. So these two are important. So freight order type and the tendering are important. Okay. So you have any question on this tendering, or is it clear?
Yeah.
It's just we are sending it directly from the SAP TM to the carrier. So it will be sent if the carrier is also using the TM server, so then we can send directly mapping the RFCs. If he is using some other, then we will call the XI or PI servers.
So again, they may use
Okay.
SAP or non-SAP. Will be mapping that to our
Carrier different servers. It's somebody can use the TM server and somebody may not use the TM. So maybe they are using some other ERP system or some other even non-ERP system also. Okay. So whatever the system they are using, if it is a SAP TM, so then it is fine. We can directly map using the RFCs. But if they are not using the SAP system or SAP TM system, if they are using some other system, so then we have to map it from using the PI interface. Okay. I will show you all the things. So this is a general data of your tendering profile. So when first of all the configuration part, we have to just create a tendering profile. So here we have to mention whether it's a peer-to-peer tendering or broadcast tendering. So peer-to-peer tendering, in the sense there are two different methods, I said, peer-to-peer tendering and broadcast tendering. So peer-to-peer tendering is, I will just show you here, peer-to-peer tendering. We again in the peer-to-peer tendering we are requesting the responses, whether response is required or no response is required. And broadcast tendering is we want the best offer or first acceptable offer. So peer-to-peer tendering and broadcast tendering are the two methodologies in which we have a response required and no response required. Broadcast tendering is the first available best offer and first acceptable offer. So what does this mean is, like for example, I will just open my Excel sheet. Okay, I'll just open Excel sheet and I will tell you. So the first one is, as I said, the peer-to-peer, and the next is broadcast. So here in the peer-to-peer tendering, so we system is able to identify three carriers: carrier A, okay, and carrier B and carrier C. So here, what are the options that what we have is in the peer-to-peer tendering? First is response required and no response is required. So that means we will be mentioning that the timeline. So at least 20 minutes or 30 minutes once RFQ is sent to the carrier A. So for example, we have sent first RFQ1, and we mentioned within the 20 minutes. Okay, so this carrier A, once we send RFQ, this carrier A has to send the confirmation. This carrier A has to send the confirmation that whether he is accepting or rejecting.
Within 20 minutes?
Yeah, the time, whatever the time you have set in the peer-to-peer tendering. So within 20 minutes, once the RFQ is sent, he has to accept or reject. So that is a response we are accepting, we are expecting. So if there is no response, then system will automatically go with the second carrier. Okay. So here also we will just see wait for accept or reject, the same thing. Whatever we have here, the same thing we also expect here. So if you are not getting anything, then we will go with the RFQ2, RFQ3 creation. So this is a response required. Are you clear on this?
Yes, yes. There won't be any overlapping in this.
No. Once it is accept or reject, so we are expecting if the first carrier, if he accepts, so then it's fine. If he rejects, then next RFQ will be created, and we have to wait for another 20 minutes.
If he is not giving.
From the second RFQ. Sorry, I didn't get you. What is it?
Carrier 1 is not giving any response then?
No, he has to give. So that is what the reason is. So response required. So that means if you set a response, unless we get a response from him within 20 minutes, so then the system will automatically consider it was rejected.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. In the second one, this is similar to that one only, but here it will just wait for the acceptance. 20 minutes it will just wait for the acceptance. Okay. This is a response is required is it will wait for 20 minutes and it will wait for the acceptance. So once acceptance is there or not, then only it will go with the second carrier. But here the time, whatever the time you are putting, it's having a less importance here in this response required. But in the no response required, time plays a major role because we are not expecting any response. So within the time, if the carrier has not accept or reject, so then it will go with the second one, right? But here in this case, it is not like that. It will go with the 20 minutes. So after 20 minutes, automatically it will go and create a second one. After another 20 minutes, it will go and create third one. So here the important thing is, here we are expecting some acceptance or rejection. But here it is not like that. 20 minutes will be there. So if we say 20 minutes, the carrier is not able to come back saying that, okay, I will take this, or we are not assigning anything to that carrier. So automatically second one will be created. So here the time will play major role in the second one, no response required. But in the first part where a response is required, we are waiting till the acceptance or rejection is there. Okay.
Okay.
That is the main difference. So here in this case, broadcast tendering is like we will be sending the RFQs at a time. Simultaneously, we are sending RFQ2, RFQ3. So we are sending at the same time. Simultaneously, we are sending all the RFQs to all the carriers at a time, single time. And what we are doing is, here we will be saying the option as best offer or first acceptable offer. So that means the RFQ, if you say best offer, So like for example, this quotation, this we have sent this as $100, and for B we are sending as a $120. Okay, so $130 we are sending like this. So once they are accepting, they will be again sending the quotation to us saying that okay, I accept it for 90, but this guy says no, I can accept it for 75 also. This guy says okay, I am accepting this for some 110. So this is the quotation we are sending, and this is what the acceptance we got from the carriers. So based on this, what is the best offer? Maybe no, oh, 10, no, it will be confusing. Maybe I will just put like this. So this is what the RFQ we sent, but this is what the offer we got. So in this, what is the best offer?
100 will be best.
Yeah, this it will be accepted. Next is first acceptable. So what is this first acceptable offer is? So we have sent like this. Okay. So if we get a confirmation from this carrier at a moment, at an instance, so then we will go with this. Or if we get the acceptance from this customer, from this carrier immediately, so we will go with this. We are not choosing a best offer. So whoever has accepted immediately, so we will go with that one. So that is the first accepted offer. It depends on the time and date. Maybe he accepted.
During conflict,
he accepted on.
Be decided by business, right?
Yeah, it's we will be just selling the business. These are the options we have. So whatever you want to choose, you can choose. This is first acceptable offer, and this is the best offer. Are you clear on this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what we are discussing here. So here in this tendering process, so first is peer-to-peer tendering is sequential sending of requests for quotations to different available carriers. So that is what we are sending one by one. So we are not sending simultaneously to all, we are sending one by one. And we have to wait until the carrier sends the quotation or until the maximum response time is specified. Until the carrier sends the quotation, in the sense a response is required, or until the maximum response time is specified, that is no response is required. Okay, and if example we have not received any quotation until the specified time, so system creates a new next carrier and it continues till we get a quotation and available carriers are there. Okay, are you clear on this? So I'll just open the system here. I will show you. I'm going to the system. So you said right now you are working for which company? TCS, right?
No, Reliance.
Oh, Reliance. Okay. So they have the project for TM?
It is under feasibility study. Now we are using LETRA.
Okay, so their own client or outside client?
No, one client only. For petrochemical business.
Oh, okay.
Polyester.
Okay, I'm just going for NWBC here. So within the NWBC, first of all, we have to create a tendering profile. Okay, so where we are going to create the tendering plan, tendering profile is, it will be there in the create tendering profile. So this is what we are going to create first. So just will mention this. Okay, this is tendering profile I mentioned. So you have to insert a step here. So in this first step is peer-to-peer tendering. So this is what we have peer-to-peer tendering response required. If you say response, so write RFQ. So RFQ based we can avoid manually. That means we have to just avoid assign the carrier manually or avoid automatically. It is automatically based on the quotation or direct tendering send freight order directly. So that means if you send this, so we are not expecting any acceptance or something. So whatever the carrier the system has identified, we are just sending the tendering. So it is only applicable with if there is only a single carrier available. But normally we can choose either of these two. Okay.
This direct tendering something related to direct shipment or?
No, direct tendering is if there is a single carrier and we are just assigning the tendering availability. We will just check the availability of all the carriers, and if we identified with the same route, we have only one carrier.
Can say
so we will not choose
dedicated carrier.
Yeah, it can be a business shares will be there or allocated carrier. So based on this, we will be assigning this. Directly we are sending the freight order to him. Okay, so here carrier, your assignment is get carrier from the ranking list or from the transportation lane or assign carrier manually or get assign carriers from the freight orders. So how we are getting this? From the ranking list. Where we are getting the ranking list? It is from the carrier selection profile.
Yes.
Yesterday we have seen this, right? So once the freight order is created.
Yesterday we have 3 carriers in the selection profile.
Yeah. So within this, the system has given the ranking. Do you remember the number? DB for yesterday 3 something will be there, right? 300.
Yeah, yesterday.
9. You can go to subcontracting. Hey, what happened to the data? This is one. What? This is the one which we created or something else? What happened? Do you remember what is that one which created last time? That we created on 13th, right? Only that we created.
Yes.
Okay. The 23rd.
Santosh, sharing has been stopped.
Oh, sharing is lost. Huh? Okay, 1 second. Now it is showing on 12th. Okay, maybe the date, server date is something different. What happened to the dates? I will show you by creating one order. I'll just go to subcontracting carrier selection. See here, this is the ranking. So whatever we created there in the transportation lane, the system will give rankings based on the cost or based on the priority. So this is what the ranking system has given. So now what we are telling the system here is, so whether we want the tendering to be based on the carriers, see, based on the ranking, or based on the transportation lane master data, or based on the freight order. If you choose the ranking list, okay, so then the system will try to send the quotations. Okay, first it will try to send the RFQ for this carrier, and if we didn't accept and if we didn't return or respond within the time, then it will go with second carrier or the third carrier. So this is what the transportation ranking of this. But if you go with the transportation lane master data, so what is there in the master data? In the transportation lane master data, we have something different, right? So we have lanes. So if I take 31002 CU302, if I go to display here, if I choose the means of transportation as 0001, now the system is trying to find out this lanes 181, 252 carrier. So this is something different than what system has identified in this ranking. Do you see? Is there a difference? You are observing any difference here?
Yes, yes. Carrier DG.
Okay, so if you say in the tendering profile, I want the carrier to be assigned based on my ranking. So then the system will automatically go with the ranking, what it has obtained here. But if you say I want system to determine based on the lane, then it will go with the lane master data. So whatever the lane master data is there, it will come to this lane master data, and it will try to send the RFQs to this order, to this sequence. Okay. And if you say I want get assigned carrier from the freight order, so that means, so whatever the freight carrier we have assigned here in the freight order,
carrier it will send.
yeah, it will send to the carrier manual. So next is assign carrier manually. So whatever we assign manually, so that will be there. So this is a difference. And RFQ update, so no update is required. So that means whatever you send RFQ, it cannot be updated. So it will be strict. So maybe if, say for example, you have some other you want to add some more 10 more quantities, or you want to change a date, or you want to add some Incoterms, or you want to add some text, so you cannot update it. So it's saying update only the do not free up to TAL upon rejection. So that means we are saying this TAL is nothing but security codes. So this TAL, these are all security codes. AIT, TAL are security codes. So you cannot update or you cannot do any modifications until this RFQ is rejected. So normally we will not do any update for the RFQs. We will just say in the real time also this one. So this is a maximum time. Relative price limit, here you can put 100. And a maximum time limit I will just put as a 10 minutes. So here I am just saying carrier freight agreement is required, or visibility you can just say default. So there is something in the default settings I will tell you. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Okay, just check this for any inconsistency and just save. Okay, this is fine. This I'm saying. Okay. So now in the configuration for this, so what we have to do is we have to look for our visibility settings. So there are a lot of things that in the visibility settings we have to look for. RTM, transportation management. So here general settings for tendering, we are going for a visibility setting. So we will just choose whatever visibility settings we have. Here we are telling that default visibility settings, we are saying whether it can be editable or not editable, or read only or hidden. So whatever the date system has identified, so those can be editable or not editable. Price limit is relevant or not relevant. So that means whatever the price limit we have entered here, is this relevant or not relevant? Okay, you can just say always not relevant because the price we are again getting it from the TCM, transportation charge calculation sheet. Submissible price visible is nothing but it's hidden, you can just say. And if you want to reject the RFQ, so for example, if any RFQ got rejected by the carrier, so how it will be identified? So this is identified using this rejection code.
These codes we should have in the carrier system also, right?
No. See, carrier will be updating. If the carrier is also using a TM, then this will be updated here also. But if the carrier is not using the same TM system, so then we have to update in our system. So whatever the carrier is sending response, so we will just say it is rejected because based on this region.
Based on their region, of course our region codes will be mapped somewhere.
Yeah. And we also have the SMS and email options also. So if you are sending anything for the cancelled one, notifications or something, here we have these options, emails and SMS. So these are again forms. Okay, so tendering the forms are, so who has created, who is the tendering manager, who is processing this? Okay, what are the visibility settings and what is the tendering profile? So here you can assign whatever the tendering profile you created. So we can choose our profile. So whatever we created there, jet TM tendering profile will be there, right? It should be available. We have saved that, right? So here we are putting the carrier selection settings also. So whatever the carrier selection settings we have created, so we can put that carrier profile.
Carrier underscore.
What is that we have?
This is not profile, I guess. Carrier selection setting.
Okay. So maximum time requires just we are putting as 1 hour, but normally it should be in minutes. Okay, because we cannot do it for 1 hour. Numeric value, I think it's 10 seconds if I put. Okay, it is hours only it's taking, but it should be 0.10. Dot but it's not taking this format, right? Okay, so this 10 is also not taking. I think this format is something different. Okay, meanwhile I will just put 1 only. So we will see this format, how the format will be there. So consider business partner calling hour. So based on your carrier calendar, we have to choose this. Okay, so threshold is 5. So that means we are just putting 5 minutes up and down, or 5 hours or 4 minutes, whatever the time we have put here. So we will just wait for up and down, like threshold will tolerance will be there, right? Okay, so restart tendering after the rejection confirmed. So that means we are just once it's rejected, so then again we have to go with another tendering. So that is nothing but we are calling the second RFQ. So communication set is, so how your communication is happening from the TM, your TM server LSP to the carrier. So you are sending AVM messages or emails or SMS, how you are sending. So carrier specific communication settings, these are all for your carrier. So these are the different carriers, whatever they will be. So we can just choose what is the method we want. So we have to assign that carrier also here. Okay, this is a default setting. What we can do is we will just go with the tendering profile we have created, and we will try by creating the tendering.
So this RFQ will be a document like freight order, or
RFQ is a quotation. It will be just a quotation. I will show you the sample RFQs. Okay, I can go to.
and while we are sending into carrier now, again it will be like, let's consider inquiry quotation like that. In sales order we have a document, right? Like that it will be a document to them.
Yeah, it will be the same kind of document, but it will not have much information. It's just who is the carrier and what is the date we are sending. So that the details will be there. Okay, so go to the application administration or the freight order management. Here, work list should be there. Here, work list. Okay, so once overview of tendering here, so we can see RFQs, pending RFQs, accepted RFQs, everything will be there. You can see request, freight request for quotation, freight quotations, open freight RFQs. So these are the open one which are not assigned or not accepted. I'll just open this. I will show you how to create, but this is a document. Okay, so this much information only you can see. So this is a carrier, then this is the RFQ which was sent. It is still open. So that means even after 5 minutes also, 5 seconds, we have not got any response. Maybe it is a response required will be the option will be. So that's why we have not done anything. So normally what will happen is we will be having a response required. So either through mail or for something we will be getting a response. So based on this only we will be doing. So if I just put like this, okay, in this RFQ, so this is this is a person, right? So what we can do is this quotation whether we want to accept or not. If you say create quotation, so from this a quotation will be created. Okay, quotation will be created. So this is a quotation. So whether the quotation is accepted or not, just save. So that quotation is created. So that means he sent the quotation back to the freight order. Now if I go to freight order, you can see this. Everything is interlinked.
This RFQ will sending from freight order only, right?
Yeah, through freight order. You have to send through freight order. That is what tendering will be assigned. The tendering profile will be assigned in the freight order. You can go to the subcontracting. Okay, stay here. So this is a tendering and he has sent the first one which is closed. So that is nothing is accepted and the second one is open. So this for this we have sent acceptance. So it is accepted. Okay.
Okay.
So you got this? This is how we are going to create. And you can see the carriers here. What are the different carriers available? So this is a different carrier. This is carrier 01 and he has not accepted. So it got to the second carrier. Okay, and if you want to see what is evaluated method, what is a tendering plan? You can see a tendering plan. So this is a tendering plan. Where is this tendering plan? The tendering plan is, oh, once it is accepted, I think it will go away. No, it should come here. I am not sure what is the version, but normally you can see here in the tendering profile. Here we can see after the tendering manager what is the tendering profile which used here. But here I think it's closed or something, not advanced calculated. What is the status? It is still in tendering only. Okay, we'll just see if it is available here. Automatic tendering they call for automatic tendering, but it should show the tendering profile. Tendering one. So this is the profile here. You can see here tendering one. So this is a tendering profile.
Tendering one.
Yeah, tendering one is a tendering profile. What they created, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so based on the tendering profile, so the step everything got created. So what we can do is just we will run with one freight order, and we will choose the our tendering profile, and we will see how the RFQs will be created. So but before that, just you practice. So since you said today you are going to practice, right? Okay, so the next class we will see the tendering. So once the tendering is done, so that means we are done with the carrier. Till the carrier we are done. So that means we have calculated, we have done with the carrier selection, and we have sent the RFQ to the carrier. So we have to wait for the acceptance. So that is how the charges will be calculated by the carrier. So here we are just saying that this is what the acceptance we have sent, or this is what the quotation we have given to them. But in the tendering profile, whatever the configuration we put here, it is we're just saying pricing is not relevant. Right here we are just choosing that option as pricing is not relevant, because here the price limit is not relevant here, because we want to use this TCCM, transportation charge calculation management. If you say this is relevant, so what will happen is whatever the value we have chosen using this price limit, the system will take that one as the final price. So that's why normally we will not use this. So we will now use the transportation charge calculation management. Okay, so using the transportation charge calculation management, we will try to calculate the TCCM. So the values or charges. So it's similar to your SD. So your background is SD only, right?
Really jolly only. I know this condition.
Okay, so there we will be having the charges. How the charges is calculated, like how the your uh, in your SD, or remember you will be having condition technique. If you remember condition technique. So in the condition technique, how the system is trying to derive the value of your material or the price. This because based on the tables, right? Tables we will be maintaining condition tables, access sequence, okay, condition records, okay, and condition tags will be assigned, and this will be assigned to your pricing processor. In similar way, here also we have some steps are there, but it is not similar to your condition tables and all. Here we will call it the rate scale calculation sheet and all.
Okay. And Chandrash,
Okay, so you
how
can
about,
have the class.
yeah. How about C and A scenarios?
What is it?
Marine and air scenarios.
Yeah, I will show you the ocean scenarios.
Okay.
Uh, Ocean, I will show you. Ocean is something which we have to. I told you, right? The flight booking is the concept. So there in the ocean scenario, initially we are trading normally when we are trading with the land or dealing with the land or rail scenario, we are using freight forwarding order first and we are trading the freight out. But here in this case, first of all, we have to get acceptance or confirmation from the carrier. So then only we can plan for the remaining. So like for example, the freight booking is from the ocean port to another port, port of Mumbai to port of let's say Kolkata. So from the port of Mumbai, so when the carrier, when the vehicle or when the vessel is moving, so that is what important for us. So if you have the vessel on today, so you cannot, you have to plan for the remaining days, right? Remaining the, like for example, your vehicle, your goods has to be picked from somewhere in the Goa. So but the vehicle is, vessel is allowed only from the Mumbai port. So from Goa to Mumbai, how the vehicle, how the stages has to be planned, we will plan only when we get a confirmation from the vessel of Mumbai, whether that particular vessel is available on that day or it is running or not, or it has a free capacity or not. So first of all, we will go with the freight booking. So then we will call with the forwarding orders. So that is something different in the ocean.
I mean, these scenarios also will be covered, right?
Yeah, I will cover you. I will cover the air and ocean also. And there is one more topic which is not there in the 9 version or 9.1. So that is container management. So container management is like for example, you have taken the full container load.
Mhm.
Okay, so that means the complete container was booked by you for the goods, transportation of goods. But the container is staying somewhere not close to you. It is staying something different in some other place. So how the container provisioning is happening and container emptying happening. So that empty container again it has to get taken back to your premises. So that is also there. So that is a part new concept which is introduced recently in 9.1. Recently since 9.1 it is there. That also will give you some PPTs I have. So I will share the container management and contract management also.
And this
And parcel,
forwarding of freight agreements also will be discussed.
yeah, freight agreements also will there. That's a part of your TCC.
Okay.
And any other topics that you want, you just consolidate all the topics. So whatever based on your requirement or business requirement, we can cover that one.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So tomorrow we can have morning time is okay at 8 o'clock, let's say same time, or you want
From 9 to 10, one class, and in afternoon, one class. Will it be fine?
no 10 o'clock I have to leave. Going somewhere to cancel something. Maybe you can sit in the night time, maybe 8 to 9 or something.
Morning 8 to 9, same time, no issues.
Okay, and another time in the evening, 8 o'clock is okay.
That we'll discuss in morning class, okay?
Sure, sure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.